Today, we're going to try and unravel one of the biggest financial puzzles in the modern monarchy, Prince Andrew's money. I mean, seriously, where does it all come from?
So, let's just get right to it. This is the central question that has everyone, the public, politicians, even reportedly King Charles himself, scratching their heads. How on earth does a man with basically no visible means of support afford a life of such, well, extreme luxury? And when we say luxury, we really mean it. Just look at his home. This isn't just some nice house. This is the Royal Lodge, a massive 30-room mansion nestled in 40 hectares of super private grounds right in Windsor Great Park. Okay, so you've got this enormous, expensive property. And yet, his only declared annual income is his Royal Navy pension. And that's just £20,000. I mean, come on, that kind of money wouldn't even touch the sides of the running costs for a place like that. So you've got this huge gap, right, between his massive expenses and this tiny little income. And that contrast has put his finances under the microscope like never before. It's become a real-life royal money mystery. And this is where it gets, well, kind of ridiculous. Look at this. On one side, you have these giant assets and eye-watering expenses, an £18 million Swiss ski chalet, over £7.5 million in refurbishments, a security bill that was reportedly £3 million a year. And on the other side, a £20,000 pension and all his other funding gone. It just doesn't add up at all. All right, let's take a look at the official record. What do the numbers actually tell us about how his finances have changed over the years? Where was the money supposed to be coming from? You see, for decades he was funded, first by the taxpayer to the tune of about £250,000 a year. Then, from 2011, his mother, the Queen, paid for him out of her private wealth. After she died, King Charles apparently kept an allowance going for a bit, but that was shut down last year. So now, the only thing left is that tiny naval pension. Every single major income stream has just dried up. So here's the thing. His official income has never really explained his wealth. And that brings us to the really controversial part of his life, his 10-year stint as the UK's special trade representative. Now, on paper, his job was to fly around the world promoting British business. But for years, there were these persistent rumors, these allegations, that he was using his public role for his own private gain, basically cashing in on his royal status to make deals for himself. A perfect case in point is the sale of his old house, Sunninghill. It got sold to a Kazakh oligarch for £15 million. Now get this, that was a full $3 million over the asking price. A lot of people looked at that and thought, that's a little strange. And that wasn't just a one-off thing. There were emails reported in the media that suggested Andrew was in line to make a commission of almost £4 million for introducing some companies to powerful political figures in Kazakhstan. It really paints a picture of a prince who was playing in the world of high-stakes international business. And this pattern of these murky deals wasn't just limited to one country, no. It seems to have been part of a much wider, and let's be honest, deeply controversial network of super wealthy associates who all kind of operated in the shadows of global finance. And of course, that brings us to his most infamous relationship of all, with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And this friendship, it went way beyond just a PR disaster. It's alleged this is what gave Andrew access to this world of unbelievable wealth and the kind of lifestyle he was so desperate for. Biographer Andrew Lowney, he calls it a transactional friendship. The way he sees it, Epstein got this veneer of royal respectability and access he couldn't get anywhere else. And what did Andrew get? Well, he got a golden ticket into the world of the super rich and all the financial perks that came with it. According to Lowney, they were both using each other. But here's the kicker. Epstein wasn't some kind of one-off mistake. Court documents and news reports show a real pattern of questionable financial ties. We're talking about receiving and then having to repay money linked to a financier accused of fraud, hanging out with a Libyan gun smuggler, and even publicly criticizing a major corruption investigation. So let's look at what's happened now. Because his public downfall, which really started with all these connections, has put his finances under a kind of pressure that he has just never experienced before in his life. The walls are definitely closing in. And the timeline of his fall from grace is just swift and brutal.
It all kicks off with that car crash BBC interview in 2019, and he has to step down as a working royal. Then, boom, he's stripped of his military titles. Then the king reportedly turns off the money tap. No more allowance, no more security funding, and now even Parliament is officially demanding answers about his money. Which brings us right back to the cold, hard reality of his situation today. He's facing these gigantic bills, an estimated $3 million for security, another $2 million for repairs on that mansion, and his only official income is that £20,000 pension. I mean, that financial gap isn't a gap anymore, it's a chasm. The pressure is just immense, and it's coming from every direction. His own brother, the king, wants him to move out. Politicians are demanding a proper investigation. The public, well, as one MP put it, they're just sick of him. And here's the most crucial part. Under his lease, if he can't afford to maintain Royal Lodge, he could actually be evicted.
And that's where we end up, right back where we started. The mystery of his money is still there, but the question has changed. It's not just where does the money come from anymore. The real question now is, what happens next? What happens when all that royal secrecy that protected him for decades is finally gone and his finances are forced out into the harsh glare of the public spotlight? Can they possibly survive?